I want to talk about this story that I heard, and I want to talk about a young man who was wanted by the FBI by the age of 11 years old. And his name is Robert Yummy, which is a street name, Sandifer. Okay. Now, I came across this article about this young man. There's two articles that I came across. I'm going to put this picture up here for you to see. I came across this article, Chicago Tribune, and also an article by WGN TV. And I heard about this through an interview that Denzel Washington was giving to, I think it was Black Tree TV, about his news being interviewed regarding his Rome Israel Esquire movie. And he mentioned about Little Yummy, and he has some conversation in regards to say, and what he said in it is what really caught my attention, and I had to look this up for myself. Now, real quick about this young man that you're seeing here. Stated that the last 18 months of his life that he had been in police custody 30 times. And 23 of those times he was in their custody based on felonies. All right. He was raised back and forth with his grandmother, between his grandmother, along with 10 other children, my understanding, the article states, and 30 grandchildren at the same time. And his mother, who was stated to be a prostitute or a possible drug addict. Where was his father? Of course, his father was in prison. Okay, so he wasn't there. Okay. There is so much that I can say about this young man, but I just feel that this is so sad. And before I go any further, though, I want to play an audio of what Mr. Giselle's response was to a question that was asked him by the interviewer, okay, in this case. Very, very, very thought-provoking. So listen to this here, if you don't mind.
There was something I read where you talked about your people from Mount Vernon saying that, you know, like they've done like 40 years in the penitentiary together. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, and, you know, incarceration rates in America has been a problem, especially as opposed to minorities. And Roman delves into the issues around the legal system. Do you think we've made any headway in the legal system?
I think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, "Yeah, they're little yummies." I said, "Who?" He said, "Little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy." Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? Yeah. It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example, and they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Yeah.
We were all doing enough to get locked up. At 13, my parents sent me in another direction. They didn't have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing, and the system got them. So I don't, the system is rigged, but why, all the more reason not to help it.
Now, Denzel was dead on the money with that. He asked the question, where was Robert Sandifer's young? The way this young man died, it was sad. And what he died for at 11 years old, just think about it. Your child at 11 years old, wanted by the FBI for felony charges. And you want to know what he did? He committed murder. Not one person, not one child, but he shot 3 people. 2 of the teenagers died. One of them was innocent, had nothing to do with the whole situation or that was going on as far as Robert was concerned. 11 years old. Okay, I have grandchildren, and just to think, I have one that's 12 years old, and just to think that he is involved with the gang and that he is going around, he is bold enough, or he has been enriching with the mindset in his heart that he can kill somebody. Okay, so then what happened? Why did he ended up in this route? See, the thing is this here. I'm gonna play another audio by Denzel, and it's from his movie Fences. Maybe you have seen it, maybe you haven't, but there is a powerful clip in that, okay? And I just love it. It's one of the very favorite parts in the scenes in the movie, I would say, that I love. Because see, y'all don't want to give that fathers give them their credit. But listen, the reason that we have so many chaos and so many disruptive and dysfunctional families is because we don't have fathers in the home like it was designed, like they're supposed to be. And we got to get the fathers back. If we want to change our nation, if we want to change the character, the structure of our nation, we got to get the fathers back. First of all, the fathers got to straighten and get their act up, get their act together, take on their responsibility, stop trying to worry about being this and that there and, bold and I got it together. No, you can put the pants on. You can wear the breeches. Guess what? You got women wearing breeches, but that don't make you a man if you're not fulfilling your responsibilities as a man. And I can't see no more than that, okay? Because it's so important. All right, but let me play this. I want to play this other clip for you by Denzel from this particular scene in Fences.
Can I ask you a question?
What the hell you got to ask me? Mr. Stawicki, the one you got the questions for.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? Who the hell said I got to like you? What law is there say I got to like you? Want to stand up in front of my face and ask a damn fool-ass question like that? Talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up. I asked you a question. What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
As long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you.
Hell.
Listen to what he said. He said, I ain't gotta like you, but it's my responsibility as a father to take care of you, to provide for you. And then there was one other thing they said on the end that I thought that was very key, very important. He said, you make sure that people do right by you. Now, back to Robert Yummy, Little Yummy. And the reason they call him Little Yummy was because he liked the candy. He liked a lot of candy a lot. And so that's how he ended up getting the name. But he was part of a gang that was called the Black Disciples Nation. Okay, he even had their initials tattooed on on his arm. And here it is, the leaders of this gang push this 11-year-old up in order to want to go and commit murder. Okay, so how did that happen? Because I got to wrap this up, because there are two things that took place here. Number one, he didn't have his father to provide for him, to give him guidance, to give him the truth, to give him the real deal, okay? He back and forth from his grandmother to his mother, who was not so much the grandmother, but his mother, who was dysfunctional. And I'm not trying to pick on her, because everybody had their struggles and what have you, okay? But yet still though, here it is, this brother was in trouble. Nobody paid attention to, see, somebody asked me a question, well, why do we have gangs? The reason that we have gangs, because when the fathers, the loving fathers, the ones who really care, don't step up and take their place in their son's life or in their daughter's life, then guess what? That son and daughter would gravitate to the person, whoever's going to give them the attention they need. Oh, I love you. Come here, brother. I'm going to show you how much I love you. Here, you need a $20? Here, go buy some clothes, whatever. I'm going to do this here for you because, hey, I got you. So if somebody's going to show them that they care and that they're into it, then of course, that's who they're going to gravitate to. Okay, well, Dad, Father, you my father. You ain't calling me. You ain't giving me no attention. You don't care about me. All you want to do is beat me and abuse me and what have you, allow me. You ain't never around when I want to get involved in things. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. So guess what? They're going to go to whoever care about them. It ain't no question about it. Now, after this, what happened, I'm going to get a short version. The young man was running from 11 years old now. He was running from the police for 3 days after killing this young girl that was 14 years old. He killed a girl that was 16 and a girl that was 14, and he shot another boy that was 16, I think. I might have it wrong, but you can go to the article. Go online. Look up Robert Yummy Sandifer, okay? And you get the whole story right there, all right? And so he decided that he was going to give up his life. I mean, turn himself in to the police. So he went to one of his neighbor's house who knew his grandmother and asked the neighbor to go get his grandmother so that to go with him so he could turn himself in. Well, when the neighbor left him on the porch, the leaders from the Black disciples thought that Yummy was a liability and that felt that he needed to be silenced. So what they did, they recruited 2 other young men, 14 and 16, who just so happened to be brothers. And they went, find out where Robert was at, say, Robert, listen, we're going to go and get you out of town, okay? Hour later, he was dead with 2 gunshots to the back of his head. He was executed, gangland style, okay? Now, we already know why Robert ended up with that life. It was so ironic. In the article, they said that at 3 years old, the state caregiver said that at 3 years old, this young man was a psychopath, okay? He was a terror. But again, the reason being, he didn't have that family structure that was ordained by God to support him, to give him the support that he needed, okay? So that's what happened. Now, thank you for joining, Mr. Tyler. All right, so the 2 boys that killed Robert, guess what? They came from a good family. Mother was a nurse, I believe, and the father was a computer technician. Okay, good family. And now I'm understanding these 2 young men, they was good in sports, they was college bound. But why did they end up in the gang with the father? I'm going to tell you why. The reason being it happened because the father didn't give the sons no attention. What am I saying here? If you don't want your child, if you don't want your son, if you don't want your daughter to go the wrong way, you gotta get involved in their life. Not only about them doing what you say, but if they have a love or a passion for something, You want to get involved with that. If they like baseball, support them with baseball. If they like basketball, support them with basketball. If they like reading, then you know what? Read with them. Whatever it is, you got whatever they have a love for, you got to show that attention as well. You got to let them know, hey, listen, I love you, but not only do I love you, but I'm here to support you. Not only am I here to support you, but I'm here to let you know that I care about you. I'm here. You don't have to go. I told my children, listen, I am your only peer pressure that you have to worry about. I won't allow no one else to be a peer pressure. I don't care who you hang out with. I'm your peer pressure, okay? So guess what? But yet still, though, it wasn't about I discipline them, then I go on and do whatever I want to do. You know, want to sit up, watch TV, whatever. But then yet still, you know, my son out there running the street and I don't know where he at. If he's going to be out there throwing football with somebody, guess who he's going to throw football with? He's going to throw football with me. And I'm not just talking no lip service. It's what I did. It's what I did. Okay. So again, these young men got off track, even though they were doing good for themselves, but they strayed. Why? Because their father did not fill their void. Point blank and simple. I got to wrap this up because this is a whole lot I can say on this here. What am I saying? Then another thing, let me make this point too. You mothers who do have sons, and you may not be with their father, you have daughters, you may not be with their father, please stop bad-mouthing them. Stop putting them down. Yeah, they got their struggles. Yeah, they may not be doing whatever it is that they feel they should be doing, but you know what, though? Don't tear them down. I think sometimes the issue with some of you women, I'm not saying all, because we got some great women out there who support their husbands. I'm talking about to the utmost. I'm married to one, and I'm happy about it. Okay, but sometimes I think that you fail to understand the struggle that we have to go through in order just to be a man. Now, there's some breakdowns I can give you in reference to that. Why you have some men, they do well when they get into fatherhood, and you have some men that struggle with it. What I do is talk about that in a later broadcast, okay? But listen, but we can fix this. And then I want to give a shout out again to all of the fathers who are standing in the gap. Listen, I appreciate you, okay? And then I want to make this one more point because I got to close. When I was talking about Black Lives Matter, when I was talking about being Black in America and everything, everybody loved, shared, liked my videos. But then yesterday when I did a video on stand-up fathers, encouraging fathers, and to show appreciation. Guess what? I hardly got enough views that broke 100. Why is that? Because some people or society want to make people think that fathers, we as a man, is not important. Well, I rebuke that. I rebuke that. Listen, we are here, and there are men just like me who are going to stand up and let this nation know that we got some men that are willing to stand in the gap. Guess what? Our children don't have to ask the question, where were you, daddy? Why? Because we already there. We got some people out here so we got some men that love their children. Oh, yeah, thank you for bringing it back. Any man can be a father, but it takes a special man to be a dad, okay? Because guess what? You can be raising a child that's not part of your seed, but you show love, care, you shelter them, you comfort them, you shower them with love, you shower them with concern, you support them in what the things that they do. Guess what they're going to end up doing after a while? They're going to soon start calling you daddy. I'm telling you what I know. I ain't telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you what I know. You got that right. Fathers are essential. Yes, they are. We are essential. We are important. Man is important. So please, love on your man. Love on your father. If fathers, listen, do your thing. We're going to come together. We're going to let this nation know. We're going to let our families know that we're here, because we will not allow our children to end up like little yummies. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.